All right, all right. Hey, what's happening? It has been a while. I'm just going to say that right off. It has been actually it's been more than a while. It's been a long damn time, right? Been a long time since we kicked it up. Why? Well, I've had some stuff going on. I've been trying to get a book done. Let's see, what else have I done? We moved, sold our RV. We was living in an RV. We lived in an RV for 7 years. We moved that. We sold that. Just got my equipment back up and running. I got my cameras and stuff. So I thought, you know what? I think it's time. It's time. There, I can't be putting anything out there that's any worse than any of the other crap that other people are putting out there. So I figure, what the hell? What the hell? Conversation is definitely about you. How are you doing today? Take a minute, look around, think about what energizes you, what things you can do today that are going to make your life better. What conversations are you going to have? Oh, here's one. The topic of this podcast: who can you trust? Oh my God, who can you trust? I don't know. Maybe it's just an observation. Maybe it's just me. Maybe no one else can see it in the entire world. But it looks like we don't trust a lot of people, right? Go in a grocery store. Go in a grocery store. If you're a different color than me, you don't trust me. You don't want to say hi to me. You don't want to be friends with me, which is actually kind of a mistake. I mean, think about it. Think about it. If we're in a grocery store together, right? Me and you were hanging out. I'm doing my grocery, and you're over there doing your grocery shopping too. We're just doing our thing. All of a sudden, there's a ruckus at the front. Now, you didn't say not hi to me because you wasn't sure. You're not sure. You don't really trust me. And what you don't realize until I come running to the back and I start yelling orders and telling you to get through that door and get out the back and go run, 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 and grab everybody with you, then you'll be like, oh, what's up? What's up? Active shooter, active shooter. Some crazy guy lost his friggin' mind. Decided to shoot a bunch of innocent people up. Go, 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 go. Wow. Kind of changes it, doesn't it? Kind of changes that whole perspective on who's standing around you, right? Sitting there in a restaurant and let's just face it, before I move any forward, this isn't a conversation about how bad the world is. But in order for us to understand where to start in correcting that, we kind of got to get an idea of what we're facing. The idea that someplace abroad is so much scarier, so much more dangerous than where we are right now. Is that the truth? Is that the truth? I don't know. Go hang out in Chicago at night. Go hang out in any of these major cities in America at night, right? Boston, Philadelphia. I mean, you pick it. It's up to you. What does this have to do with living your best life? Well, it has to do with focus. Focus. Who you trust. That's a skill. You got to have that skill. If you're going to have any skill in the world, I promise you got to know how to pick someone you can trust. Are you good at it? Do you trust yourself? That's the big thing, right? Think about it. Over there rock and rolling your life. I mean, despite what your social media presence says, let's just be honest here. Let's just have a candid, just you and me. No one else is listening. Just you and me. We have a conversation. Are you really just blasting it in every aspect of your life? Are you really getting up energized? You got some great shit going on, and then you get up and then you go back to bed. You're sleeping it off. Shouldn't have stayed up all night looking at my phone, texting to people, doing engaged in shit that don't matter one bit in the progression of your life. Don't be mad at me. Don't get mad at me for pointing that crap out. But it's true, right? How many hours in any given day do you spend actually sitting down, thinking about where you are and where you want to go in any given day? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? How much time do you spend thinking about how you could earn more money or how you could have an easier life for you and your wife? Or even this, let's just say that you're like me and you've already figured out the financial thing. You're pretty set up on that. I wake up every day and I imagine how it would be for me to be actually able to actually have a conversation with the world, and the world goes, he's right. That dude is right. He's right. When you focus on you focus on where you are in life and what you love to do. All of a sudden, there's a burst of energy that comes from that, right? Yeah, there's a burst of energy that comes from that. And what do you do with that energy? If I were you, and of course I'm not you, get that burst of energy, all of a sudden you turn it into something else. You do something else. And why is that important? Hmm. You suppose it's because we're not supposed to sit still? You suppose it's because there was a reason that crazy people like the Wright brothers and Benjamin Franklin and Socrates and Monet and Conor McGregor are all just at the top of their game? Is it some sort of accident? Is it some sort of thing where they're like, "Oh, I'm just doing nothing," and all of a sudden, wow, look at me? No, not that at all. That famous person you admire, you know how he got there? He got there the same way you could get there. He got there the same exact way you could get there. He woke up one day and he says, I'm pretty excited about a lot of things, but I'm really excited about this. And then he got up the next day and he thought about the same thing. And then when he went to bed, he had trouble sleeping. But it wasn't because of all the work he had to do and all the obligations he had. It was because he's trying to figure out that one thing that's going to make him great. Oh, hey, I forgot about this. There you go. Well, let's talk about this thing. You want to have a conversation about real life? Let's talk about it. What are you going to do today that actually adds energy in your tank that gets you all excited? Between now and the time you go to bed tonight, what kind of cool thing are you going to do for someone that makes them smile and laugh and giggle and enjoy your company? What do you, I mean, if it, hypothetically, of course, because I certainly am not trying to push in on you at all. What would you do? What would you pick? I can think of a million things. I can think of the inspiration that I get from this, from me waking up and knowing that at some point someone's going to say, "Hey, wait a minute, I think he's right." Yeah, yeah. One guy, that your best life defined guy. What? He's right. Yeah, he's right. We're not supposed to sit still. We're not supposed to sit in a drunken stupor in a bar all evening long. We're not supposed to sit stoned, walking down the street, bent over and bent in half. Fentanyl. Oh my God. And you want to know the ironic? This is the ironic twist, and this is where we have to be careful about what we believe and who we trust. Right? You want to talk about trust? Let's talk about trust. Um, there's a few people in the world. There are some people in the world, and despite what you might want to believe or your desire to infer your own standard of trust and kindness toward those people, there are some people in the world who don't give two shits about you. It's the truth. There are some people in the world who they have an agenda, and if it involves destroying you, just the price you pay, right? Just the price you pay. And when you infer that idea, guess what we accept what they're about. Everyone who's in love with Donald Trump or Biden or any of those politicians, you know why they're willing to stand up in front of a crowd and profess their loyalty to a thief is because they believe everything he says. They're listening to what he said. Oh yeah, I believe that, but we actually have no tangible proof. I mean, yeah, I haven't had breakfast with Biden. You haven't had breakfast with Trump. I haven't had breakfast with the vice president. I don't know shit about them other than the commercial they play, and of course our campaigns. Let's talk about the campaign. This process, where people make they contract with advertising agencies, the same people who sell you cereal, cigars, and beer, wine, and now weed. I mean, there's a lot of stuff for sale. Those same people are the ones that our representatives contract with in order to sell us the ideas that cause us to say, "Oh, I like him. I like him." I know the tragedy. See the tragedy in it? I watched the news this morning. I caught the news. Not enough to, I mean, not the kind of thing you want to spend a bunch of time doing, especially if you're motivated to actually wake up and live your best life. If you're actually motivated to wake up and capture more of what this thing can do for you, then I would not recommend watching the news, because when I watched the news, what I found out was this. You know what? There are people who run countries like the United States and like Israel and like the Palestinians, this whole Middle East thing with Israel and Hamas, right? This whole thing. There are people who have made it their job to create conflict. And as a result, it isn't the leaders of these countries who die. It's innocent people like you and me. And I think I'm what scares me the most is that not the entire country, the entire world isn't going to stop it. I understand that this is the method by which we resolve issues in this time, but I can't imagine any place where you would be celebrating that. I can't imagine. I look around and I think, what did that little girl do, right? And then of course you want to dig into this a little bit. You want to make this kind of real for you. Imagine that. Imagine there you are in your house and you're already scared to death. You've been scared to death for months now. You've been scared to death for months. Bombs around you, unease, food scarcity, water scarcity. You have a family, a wife, daughters, and sons. And there you are, you're running and you have your little bit of stuff and you protect it with everything you are. And out of the blue, there you are. You think you're in a safe zone. It says it right above it. It says it's safe zone. And your kids look at you, your children look at you, and they go, "Oh, yeah, Dad. Oh, well, thanks. This is a safe zone." And so you and your family huddle it together in a tent. And for the first time in a long time, you get a good night's sleep and you have a good full belly. And you're like, "Oh, whew, thank goodness for the safe zone." And then in the middle of the night, the lights go out. Your ears are ringing. Your mouth is full of dirt, and your sinuses are full of smoke and dust. And you hear people crying. You hear babies crying. You hear wailing of people just like you who can't understand where their leg is, don't know where their baby is, maybe never find their baby. I don't. I certainly don't know what the answer is. I mean, I can't even fathom that. I think it might start with stop throwing bombs at each other, stop shooting at each other. And the answer is that, and just so this is the platform that people get onto with the anti-gun thing. You see what Russia is doing to Ukraine. You see what Israel is doing to Hamas. When people talk about, well, we got to get rid of the guns, well, that would be cool if no one had guns, but the dynamic would still change. If there weren't any guns, I'd be a badass. I guarantee that. I know how to knife fight. I know how to ground and pound. I know stand up. I have a tactical mind, so that's no big deal. But I mean, the dynamic would simply change. What we have to do is we have to stop the hate. We have to stop allowing this stuff to be okay. And we're not ready for that. You don't have time for that. You don't have time to be actually pondering the fact that some child had their leg blown off in some war that didn't have anything to do with her or him. Some mothers over their arms around their baby, no breath in that child, and there they are. Is this too heavy for you? Oh no. Oh no. Who do you trust? You got to trust you first. You have to trust you first. And what is the basis of trust? Well, trust is when you rely on someone and you have a verbal or written arrangement with them. We're usually verbal. All of my arrangements with my wife are verbal. I don't make messes that I don't clean up usually. Every once in a while I will, but if I'm in there cooking, I get all extravagant. I'm going to make some pizza dough. I'll just rock and roll it, right? And then I clean up. And of course, that's trust. Because if it weren't for that, my wife and I, she'd probably, when I'd say, I'm going to make pizza, she'd go, no, 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 you're not. Oh, no, 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 because you left a mess last time and you don't know how to clean up after yourself. That's trust. When you get that stuff aligned and when you start thinking about trust and you start becoming trustworthy, all of a sudden the pressure goes away, the anger and the frustration goes away. Why? Why? Because that trust represents a loyalty to the person you love that extends beyond yourself. I love my wife more than anyone else in the world. I would do more for my wife than I would do for anyone else in the world. And you know what the cool part is? She trusts me on that. She knows. She looks at me and she watches me and she'll test me every once in a while. She'll make some comment. I go, oh no, I'm going to take care of you. You're going to kill me. It'll kill me, but I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to be there for you because you've been there for me and I love the hell out of you. And of course, that's some mushy crap that maybe isn't. Maybe we're not supposed to say that. I think it's the coolest thing ever to be married. I think marriage and relationships, regardless of what they look like, are the best arrangement human beings can make. And the reason is because when you do that, when you make that arrangement with someone, you say, "Listen, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna love, honor, and cherish you, and you're gonna do the same for me." And within that, all the connotations of what it means to be someone's partner, someone's friend, someone's confidant. And the cool part about it is when you step into that with the right mindset, all of a sudden, you don't have to worry about anything. And what's that mindset look like? Well, it's simple. Love them more than yourself. What? Yeah. Instead of thinking about you and what you want to do and what you need, spend your entire day or a good portion of your day thinking about what you can do for them. When you interact with them, make sure you give a little bit of yourself to them. You do the dishes, you grab the vacuum, you go ahead and get the bath ready, get the kids ready for the bath. Give them a little time to themselves. Let them feel appreciated. Let them reconnect with that person that you are that they fell in love with, right? No. I often joke. I joke about being Prince Charming. That's not a lie, and it's certainly not a joke. I wake up every day and I look at my wife and my wife looks at me and I'm scrambling for a reason to smile. I am. And why would I do that? Well, because you need to smile. If you can't smile with the person you share your life with, that's going to be a long ass miserable life. And if you can't have fun and enjoy their conversation, and of course, how do you do that? Simple, you trust them. And you commit to it, right? I mean, you got someone on playing video games and they won't do anything for you. That's kind of a violation of the trust, right? When you get together with someone, it's not so that you can take care of them. Not so you can do all the crap they need you to do the dishes and do the laundry, and of course all they got to do is sit around. And of course they want all the same stuff as you do. They want the yard and the garage and all the benefits of having a big ass house, but they don't want to contribute anything to it. And of course, you're over there trusting them. You're trusting they'll do it, and then you get irritated because they won't. That's a violation of trust. And of course, the other thing is when you say something to someone, you say, "Hey, listen, until death do us part." I remember one night you were drinking Jack Daniels with your friends, and you were talking about how you'd take a bullet for me. And he's over there, he's all big, Richard. "Oh yeah, I'd take a bullet for you." I told him that. "That's right, I will." "All right, well that's good to hear. Then would you get off your butt and go mow that lawn for me? Because that's not nearly as bad as taking a bullet. Could you do that for me?" I mean, think about it. Can you imagine? That's the expectation of trust. I've had it tested a couple times. Trust comes in a lot of forms. One of the things that requires a whole lot of trust is the belief in yourself. The ability to remove yourself from all of the external stuff that's pushing in on you. Your family, what your husband's doing, what your kids are doing. You're there for them and you provide for them. But where we get into trouble is when we invite all that noise in and we take ownership of it to a level that exceeds where your children or your husband is caring about it. If you got something you care about and no one wants to seem to help you with it, you got two choices. You either do it yourself or you stop caring about it. Does it really matter that the grass is long? Well, no, not really. No, it doesn't matter one bit. Oh, well, then that was easy. Damn. I'd do more of that, right? That is the foundation of success because then you're operating within your own parameters. Think about it. Who can you control? Who do you have full and complete control over? And it's only one person. There's only one single person in the entire universe that you actually have control of. Who is it? Is it your husband? Is it your kids? No. It's you. And since you only have control over you, who can you impact the most with that control? Who would be the best candidate for you to focus on every day? Who do you suppose that would be? What? You? Why not? Why not? I mean, you've been doing it the other way for so long. You've been waking up every day running like a chicken with your head cut off because they all need lunches and they all need this and they all need that and they're all little budheads to you. Even the big one, even the one that said "I do," you can't seem to him. He can't seem to think before himself. And it's not because he can't, because he does that function every day at work. But it's just when he gets home, he no longer has the ability to actually put the pieces of the puzzle together that make a relationship work. Well, I get home and the grass is longer, and yeah, but you can't really see that that's the progression because when your wife is satisfied, when your husband is satisfied with the arrangement and it's mutual, and sometimes it's not. I got to tell you, sometimes when it comes to choices and the things that we've done, there are a lot of times in my life when I've actually stepped across the line and went all in on me. And that's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing for your partner to accept. But what do you do about it? What can you do about it? Well, stop. Here's a trick for you. Little trick for you. For the next 24 hours, spend all of your time thinking about what you could do to make your partner's life easier. Next 24 hours. Look at them. Look at the house. Look at their life. Look at the things they do that they don't enjoy doing. Look at the things that they might do that they could probably use a little help with. Sure, maybe one night off of the video game thing that you do, maybe one night off of the book you've been writing forever that you can't seem to get done, and just look at them and look at their life and look at something you can do that would help them. And think about that thing until you execute. You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? If you don't know, then it's been too long, but you know what's going to happen if you do that for your partner? They're going to look at you. They're going to be like, sideways look. They'll be looking at you sideways. Be like, not sure. What the hell? You got a girlfriend? What are you doing? Just go about your business. Maybe say something kind like, well, I got to tell you, I haven't been the best husband. I'm going to try and do better. I was listening to some dumbass on Podbean, and he said, you got to be Prince Charming. I guarantee if you do that 5 days in a row, from the time you start till the time you're in, your relationship will have improved. Why? Because relationships are it's an arrangement. It's arrangement, basically a deal that says because you are in my life and I share my body with you and my secrets with you and my life with you, my goal is for us to grow together and to be better as a result. When we bring two people together, the goal should be to actually improve all involved's position, right? Sandy and I did it. We did a good job of it. Was it easy? No, we fought like cats and dogs for most of our friggin' marriage. But amid it all, we never lost sight of the one reason that we stayed together, and that was we had more earning potential together than we did apart. We had the ability to generate more revenue and to get more done with us being together than we did when we were apart. Did it make it great? Nah, not always. In fact, sometimes it sucked. But when you think about who you trust, the one person in the world you want to be able to trust more than anyone else is the person you share your life with, the person you share your dreams with. How do you make it happen? Oh boy, that's a good question. How do you execute? I think that's where we all get kind of stoned up. Let's talk about that, execution. In order for us to execute and affect change that isn't just established, right? Like the fact that you have the house, the car, the kids, the debt, you go to work every day, and just like everyone else, you hate what you do. What would you have to do in order for you to affect change to where something of value, something that add energy to your life would actually be a part of your life? How do you go about doing that? Now, this is kind of where it gets good. This is where you need to listen. You see, you already have the ability to execute on anything that you decide to do. You've been doing it your entire life. Think about it. Look at your life. Look at anything in your life. Look at the house, for instance, or let's just go with that $70,000 truck, that big ass truck you got, or anything, why you got married. Every one of those ideas, every one of those things that you've accomplished started out with an idea, didn't it? Every one of those things started out with an idea. And you thought about it. You're like, I really like her. She's pretty cool. I'd hate to see someone else marry her. Oh yeah, she's pretty cool. I love her too. I mean, she's right. Oh yeah, just perfect. And then that's the idea. And then all of a sudden you start thinking about, well, it'd be pretty great. We could have some really good-looking kids, smart too, smart kids. Yeah. And before you know it, you've got this vision in your mind, and you're excited and you're energized about that vision. And so, how does that process go? Oh man, you are Prince Charming to her. You do everything she wants you to do. You're there doing the dishes, and you're telling her how lovely she is and how beautiful she is. And you state this process, and you're getting more and more excited. And she starts talking about the house, and you start talking about the house, and then the cars, and then the jobs. And oh my goodness, before you know it, you are in ecstasy. And you're still there, right? Still all into it, right? Still all thinking, "Yeah, I got this. This is great." Oh, maybe not. That's what I'm talking about. Got to get some fire going. Because what they don't tell us, what no one bothers to tell us, is that everything that we do has an expiration date. Everything we do, the most amazing event in the world, becomes mundane at some point. Now, some less so. Some that are basically bottomless. If I was into being a mortician, man, I would be happy my entire life if that was my thing. Because think about it, being a mortician, right? You're a mortician. You're there. That's endless. And of course, this is another avenue where it becomes endless. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one iota what you do with this. We're having this conversation about life, about who to trust, about being a better partner, about being a better parent, about being a better citizen of the universe. I mean, let's face it, even if you don't believe in God, there's some stuff you might want to consider, right? You like the fact that some of this stuff is real. It's real. Just like you did with the truck, the house, the car, the people you married, the people you love. You can choose something that makes life easier for you. You're struggling for money. All right, let's say it's money. How could you fix that? Well, you got a couple ways. You can fix it by not spending so much. That'd be one way. I mean, guaranteed that'd be one way to fix it. You could earn more. That'd be a way to do it. So you got two ways right there. And all of a sudden, the money issue is no longer there. How would I do it? Well, I get another job. You're doing nothing anyway. What's the goal? What do you want in your life? Do you want more money? Do you want to have the ability to have nice things and do what you love to do? If that's the case, then get another job. And of course, if you need more time, or maybe you've got money but the issue is your relationship. Maybe the relationship sucks. All right, what could you do about that? Well, you could be nicer. The next time she's crying, you could ask her why. You could say, "Honey, I see you're crying. Why?" What do you think she'd do? She'd probably freak out. She'd probably freak out. She'd be like, "Damn, what's that about?" Right? That's because that's not who you are. That's not what you do. I freak my wife out all the time. I remember for the longest time there was nothing wrong. Here I am. I'm walking around pissed off. My entire life sucks as far as I'm concerned. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with me when my wife asks. She'd be like, "What's the matter, honey? You okay?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. I'm good. I'm good." All caught up in my anger. Should have seen how surprised she was when I said, "Well, I'm actually feeling a little sad, baby, because that conversation we was having, it kind of made me feel terrible inside. You kind of shamed the shit out of me, if you want to know the truth, right?" Got to be careful who you trust. Got to be careful who you confide in. Got to be careful that you don't lose sight of who the most important person in the world is. And of course, that will always be you. That's not going to change. I promise that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep showing up here every day. I hope some of this made sense to you. I'm going to just keep going on this. The bottom line is this. Part of the reason I'm here is because I don't want my train to go off the tracks. And I know when you spend time doing things for other people and you spend time thinking about the quality of your life and where your life is at and how you can improve it, that is exactly what happens. I'm inviting you along on that. I don't want anything from you. I'm just trying to give you all I can. Until next time, don't forget to launch every action, every choice from a platform of kindness. It'll help you be a better person, and it'll help the world be a better place. Until next time, my name is Chris Jaquez, and this is your Best Life Defined. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.